having a winning mind and a spirit of leadership comes along with a lot of things, and of course these are some of these people some of these things as are the challenges and of course the realities that young people, I know you have worked with young people, so when we are looking towards having the winning mind, this go-getting mind, there is a lot of things that will encounter us, and these are the challenges, and those challenges are basically the realities that we go through as young people. But how can you inspire me to continue going on with whatever I have embarked at, not to care about the pressure? How can I basically manage my pressure?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you very much for that wonderful question. Um, I wouldn't say to inspire you, but to get to know this uh, pressure, fear, worries, obstacles, and sometimes scarcity are part of the life and the goal you want to achieve. Young people or youth, I encourage many young people to choose what they feel like they are passionate about. For example, I will give you my own experience. In 2011, when I went to Chambogo University, I had identified myself that I'm passionate about living in the community, which has justice. But I also identify that if I'm to offer leadership, it's not waiting for people to appoint me, to elect me whenever there is a challenge, but it is to identify what is that challenge which is in the community. How do I go about it? So in 2011, I went to Chambog, and there was a lot of some scaffolds of corruption in the administration and also partly in some in the guild leadership. So I asked myself as a first year student, how would I want to leave Chambogo after my 3 years? Then how am I going to define my 3 years as I move on? I said, no, I want to live in the Chambogo, which has reputation, and then also which gives opportunity to everyone who deserves it. If you've come to study, finish your year, but don't get out of the way because someone used the money which was meant to buy a book in the library and then edit. So when I discovered all that, I mobilized young people because I knew what I wanted us to achieve. Mobilized students, and then I said, you see, one, we must stop this challenge and we must pay the price of cleaning this university so that our brothers and sisters who will come or our children will find it safe. So I was able to package this vision of moving from where it was to a step where it's going to be without this too much corruption. So I mobilized some students, and then we started doing simple activism, sit down strike, then also calling placards, say enough is enough. And it brought a lot of challenge because it was my first time to enter into the prison. I'd never entered into the cell, and my culture, to enter into the cell was something abominable. It was something scariable because once you enter it, they believe that you will every time be as a criminal. But I had to pay that price. But at the end of the day, I had to risk because being confident takes also risking. I had to risk my comfort. I had to risk also partly some studies because I could sometimes miss some lectures. But I also had to become an enemy of very many people who were very important in the administration. But later, I going to some of the students fear to risk as we could or what the situation required us. But at the end of the day, these people were brought into books. The IGG by that time, Yagonja, intervened. And by the end of the 3 years, the issue of corruption was easily taken away and washed away. And then also young people were inspired that whenever there is a challenge, we must be able to wake up, and not in a violent way like what most students do, but then to wake up and our voice be heard, and also to stand and show that this is what we want. And if you know what you want, then you are able to risk for it in most of the cases. So I will come to the how do we inspire ourselves? It's not about inspiring or motivating, but it is about identifying what gives you freedom and what takes away your freedom. For example, what takes my inner freedom is to see many people suffering, but not on their own making, but because of someone who has designed either a system, either policy, or this person who wants to take advantage of them to override. It takes away my freedom. And another thing which takes away my freedom, it's force. You know, someone talked about cooperation. Cooperation is one of the skill or one of the thinking we must create and must inspire young people that to take away a barrier, we must cooperate and build a kind of network that believes that this network is very bad, it creates problem. So as you identify what takes away your freedom, what takes away your peace, what takes away what you believe it is right and justice, then you are able to start asking yourself that should I accept this, or should I take up leadership of responsibility to see that that challenge or barrier gets away. Once you identify that, you will be able to start now moving baby steps, which are going to grow into real steps. And then you will find yourself providing the leadership, and you provide that leadership because not people have asked you, but because in your own thinking, you have masterminded and you've discovered that this is not right. And if it's not right, I must be part of the people who are going to collect it, or who are going to tell other people. And when I tell them, we are going to be able to gather this mosh, or to gather the energy and momentum, which is going to help us to lift away this problem or to dismantle it. Because when I'm alone, I'm not able to dismantle it away. And I would like to conclude with this, that one of the challenges we have in our Africa is the issue of the role of politics in changing society. I'm so happy we have one of the contestants in the Kenyan election, and I so much like Kenya because it's one of the most blessed country, but with collapsed leadership and so much, many things dividing them according to their ethnicity. But what we must understand, that we must start believing that it is not politics to create a good society, but politics plays a key role. And what is that key role? The key role is not to give people privileges, not to give people medication, give people free education. The key role is to make sure that the environment these people are living in is able to challenge them to identify what they can give to the other, and then the other person gives value to them. So if we make sure that people are able to know that politics is about creating environment, it's not about giving goodies, envelopes like in one of the countries in Africa, we are able to understand the value we can create in the community. And this value should not be for charity. Many people love charity because politicians are not the way of giving charity. The issue should be value for the value, creating a market. If you want to change the world, believe in the market. Market is an arrangement where any person who has created value can exchange it with value. So in that way of creating a market, we are going to be solving some challenges and some problem in the community, because you are able to give value. And then when you give that value, you are appreciated. And when you are appreciated, you're going to be motivated and inspired to work more on that. And that's why I believe that for one of our colleagues who is going to run for the office, he must sensitize people that I'm not going to give you free things, I'm not going to give you medication, I'm not going to take you to hospital, but I'm going to make sure that the environment does not allow politicians to steal your money in terms of taxation, in terms, steal your land in terms of I'm a boss, I'm a privilege. So by that, we shall be inspired. If you want to get inspired, just believe that you must work in the market way. Give value to the other, and the other gives value to you. Thank you.